Jeff, did you think it was in the ninth round?
I need to use this microphone or not?
Yes, Jeff, pick it up here. No one wants to hear me. When in the ninth round, did you think, here we go again?
I hate that ninth round.
We know, and so did Mike.
That's what I've been saying. How can we get rid of it and make a round 11 still a 10 round fight? But yeah, I knew I think I just know it's around 9, and I've got that voodoo around that round 9, and I just don't like it.
Well, what was it like? I mean, how bad were you hurt in that round?
Look, it's hard to remember back. I know he got me with a few good ones, but I know I got him with a fair few better ones, and it was a tough fight the whole way through, and he's a warrior and so am I, and I proved that I had the fitness this time to push through and out-battle him out there.
Glenn, they were bluing about the fact that the referee just stopped to want to have a look at Jeff's eye there, and they felt the fight should have been stopped. I mean, did you even come close to stopping the fight or throwing the towel in?
No, I didn't. You know, I was certainly one of our corner was sort of very close to it, but I said not yet. You know, so again, you have to weigh up every single punch, and I know how fit Jeff is, and I know how tough he is, and as I say, it's a line ball decision, but I didn't feel the time was quite there. And as I said to the Fox guys beforehand, they said, oh, you know, are you going to be quick to throw the towel? I said, no, this is a new event. I've wiped all that baggage, is gone, and I have to look at this event as a fresh event. I can't carry any baggage into this event, so I didn't. I just assessed it based on every single thing I know about Jeff. That's all the history we share. That's every round he's done in his training program through, how many punches he's taken. And I thought it wasn't quite there, and I think I was vindicated tonight. And we saw that Jeff in a heartbeat turned that around. The next thing you know, it's Michael's the one on the canvas, and Hillbase was the one. In fact, I was looking over at their corner, seeing if they were going to throw the towel in after he was knocked down for the second time. I thought, you know, hang on, he's been knocked down twice. Guys, you're going to throw the towel in? What's happening here? But and I think they were probably, I think they did say they were thinking of throwing the towel in as well. So, yeah, it was a tough fight. I think it was, you know, fight of the year for sure. Unbelievable.
How did you feel, Jeff, when you hit him on the chin and went down? Because you're under siege at that moment.
Yeah, I felt great. Well, it was good seeing him go down, and I'm very happy when, if I don't have to do it anymore, I guess. If he goes down, it means fight might be over and I win. So if I see him go down, that's a bit of excitement. The heartbeat goes up, and I go, oh, maybe I can get him now, and I can get this all over and done with.
Jeff, when the ref stopped the fight to win the cut, did you get a bit of a second wind when it started, out of that break in the middle of that round?
Not really, I don't think. Look, the fight's constantly stopped and broken up in little parts. I guess you could say you get second wins in all of it, but I guess more so when you get stopped, and sometimes the fight and the way the fight can be stopped sometimes can maybe pull you back a little bit. You might be on a siege and the ref stops it, and then you don't get to keep that going.
It happened, remember, in the Pacquiao fight where they stopped the fight and the doctor looked at Pacquiao, and I'm thinking, like, what are you stopping the fight for, buddy? Wanted to have a look at it, and, you know, so be it. You just have to respect, that's the doctor's prerogative to do that.
Safety first.
Yeah. Jeff, you copped a lot of criticism after that last fight about your preparations, and people questioned whether you would even continue to fight, your future in the sport. How special, you look pretty emotional after the fight, how special was it tonight to be able to prove that you can still be a really effective force out there?
Look, it meant everything. The way Michael was talking about me, he was disrespecting me so much with what I've done. I feel like my career so far has been absolutely massive in what I've done, and he was talking about it like, oh, I've done absolutely nothing, and then I've fought absolutely nobodies, and I've had easy fights, and I was just like, mate, I've versed a world champion. I beat an absolute champion in Manny Pacquiao. I beat Mundine. He was the face of Australian boxing for a long time, and I just want some respect from the guy.
As well as 11 world-ranked opponents on the way up. Let's not forget that either.
Jeff, did you really have to, in this preparation, did you have to really go back to that 2017 mentality? Or what was the difference the last 12 weeks? Because it felt like tonight it reminded me of that fight.
Yeah, I knew I had to go back to old school ways, and Glenn was making me do hill runs and all these type of things that I hate doing. I hated doing, and he really, really was annoying me with making me do those. But I knew I needed the fitness, and I knew if I got that under my belt, that was the one thing and the major reason last time why I fell short last time, and I just got beaten by tiredness. He was a fitter guy on that night, and he was saying that I don't have many skills, but I proved when I'm fit and I've got those skills, I can beat him.
Has this fight convinced you to keep campaigning as a middleweight?
No. Light middleweight.
I don't think I am a middleweight. I think I can easily make a light middleweight or a super welterweight, whatever you call it.
We moved up to middleweight for a very specific reason, and that was we saw a guy named Rob Brandt that we thought, through a relationship we had with Bob Aaron, we could get a fight with him. It was a fight we thought we could win. And circumstances prevailed that, Brandt got beaten by Murata, and we were looking at Murata for a big money fight. And so we decided, we were going to stay there because the money was going to be great. But now, from the promoter point of view, we are never fighting at middleweight again, because I'm not going through a fight like that again with Jeff. I've been to, obviously, since we've signed Jeff, I've been to every single one of his fights. And 3 of them stand out. One of them was against Randall Bailey when Jeff got clipped right on the chops, I think in about round 3 or 4. His hand touched the ground, then he got up and just battered Randall, who was renowned for his punching power. Then, of course, there's the Pacquiao fight was outstanding. This one tonight was an absolute war. And I'd like to see Jeff in less wars and fights that produce, a lot of money for him, because at the end of the day is what we're here for. But also fights that he doesn't have to go to war, because, this is a really tough game. And I've got to say that was one of the greatest fights I think I've seen tonight. I've been to a lot of fights all around the world, and it was just incredible. Well done, Jeffrey.
I'd like to second that and say that I've seen a lot of fights in my lifetime, and that ranks just for sheer. I think the two guys out there, they just threw everything that they had, physically, emotionally, spiritually, just everything they had, they threw at each other, and Jeff emerged victorious. So, yeah, to me, it was just an incredible moment, and
Got to say,
I cherish it.
Zerafa fought very well tonight. I thought he got stronger as the night went on. Just his weight seemed to be there, and he certainly, and regardless of the carry on before the fight, they were playing a part, and they understood that this is their opportunity to put themselves in the Australian sporting landscape. I think Zerafa's definitely done that, and he was very magnanimous after the fight, and like all fighters do, when they go to war like they just did, there's respect on both sides. And I think you'll see a lot more of Michael Zerafa going forward. He actually, to be fair, and I know at times there was a lot of disrespect there, but he actually made this whole build-up very, very interesting, because too often in Australian boxing, without the likes of Anthony Mundine there, it can be very, very boring, and people stand and pay respects to each other, and nobody likes that, to be bluntly honest. So I thought Zerafa and his team, regardless of the fact that they showed disrespect, they actually brought this whole thing to life. Jeff went in a massive underdog tonight on the at the TAB or at the odds, and Australians don't like people who lose, but they sure as hell love people who come back when the odds are against them, and it was just a stunning effort tonight, I thought, from Jeff.
Yeah, it was an amazing performance, and all of Australia should be proud of what Jeff Horn's done here tonight.
Dean, in saying that at 154, there's some fantastic fighters in the 154 division overseas. Would you consider looking at fighting in America next at 154?
Look, we'll just have a look around at the opportunities. We were offered the opportunity to perhaps fight Carlos Adames for a world title fight going back sort of 2 months ago. If Jeff stood aside from this fight and allowed Zerafa to take on Murata, Glenn quite rightly said, well, there's no absolute guarantee we're going to fight Adames for the world title, because one man Goya had to vacate, and 2 there to turn on a big Tex area who just beat Adames. So the way things went, from a financial point of view, this was not the smartest fight we could have taken, because there are other options on the table. But Jeff was very adamant that he wanted to take this fight, because this is a fight that motivated him. And I've got to be honest, it scared me shitless we've put a lot of time, effort, and work into building what we've got. And Jeff put it all on the line, which he's entitled to do, because it's his career. And he was the one who wanted it most, and he showed right from the very first bell, come out and threw big overhand right, I think it was. That he was here to fight, and I was sitting beside Kevin Barry, who was, one of the great trainers in the world of heavyweight boxing, and he said the thing tonight that made a difference, along with my good friend Mark Bedford, who had a number of fights, was the movement that Jeff had right throughout the fight. And it was only when Jeff got tired and the movement stopped that he started to get clipped.
But what was very, very impressive was that, you know, the movement was there all night, and I think that made Jeff a lot more elusive. He was in, he was out, he was hitting. His jab was just spectacular. And then when he stood in close and traded, it was impressive. So, you know, all in all, it was a, you know, from my point of view, a stunning entertainment spectacle. And a lot of people have said that Manny Pacquiao fight was one of the all-time great Australian sporting moments. I've got to be honest, I think we've seen another one tonight. Obviously in front of a much smaller crowd and a much smaller TV audience. But certainly we've got a lot of media who will report on this fight, and I think the ones who were there and lucky enough to be here tonight will report it as one of the all-time great sporting events again, in a very different way. I don't make unilateral decisions, right? We sit down as a team, we work out what, I go and come up with some options and we work out what the best options are and we talk them through. Ultimately, Jeff's the one who's got to get in the ring, and him and Glenn are the ones who are best versed to make the final decision. But right now, I think there's, you know, there's obviously, I don't want to fight at middleweight ever again. Because I think it's too taxing on Jeff. He's not a true middleweight. I don't think you're going to make middleweight, Dan. He doesn't want to fight at middleweight again. You know what I'm saying? I think Jeff, it's just my opinion. And of course, I take a lot of my advice off Glenn, off Jeff, but also off a guy called Stuart Duncan, who's not here tonight. And we all sort of pretty much agree that light middleweight's where he should be.
We'll have to go back and have a look. I don't think Murata would want to do that. He's a world champion at middleweight, and he's a big.
No, that's not really our direction at the moment. You know, we're looking at opportunities at light middleweight now. I think that's that is the sweet spot at the moment. I'm not saying that Jeff couldn't fight at middleweight. I think they'd campaign at light middleweight for a while, and then we'll just see how that goes. But you know, I never say never, but certainly I believe right at the moment, Jeff is light middleweight is the sweet spot. It's the Goldilocks division for us.
Jeff, if you fight at 154. If you fight at 154, people are obviously going to mention Tim Tszyu there. I mean, is that a fight you'd like to have in 2020?
It's possible. Tim Tszyu's got a big name in Australian boxing now, and all thanks to his father as well. And he's absolutely having a massive career at the moment. He's having some impressive wins. He fought a great guy from our gym, Joel Camilleri, and had an impressive win with him. And Dwight Ritchie as well, who's sadly passed away now. And he's a talent coming through, and he's showing his explosiveness, and he's a possible fight in the future. And I guess I'll just leave that to Dean, and I'm just going to have a nice Christmas and good New Year's now and have a good break, and I'm sure Dean will be coming to me and Glenn with some options.
And most importantly, Glenn and myself agree that, Jeffrey, that you are back running at the end of January. You are not taking 6, 8, 10 weeks off.
Yeah, you can't have too long a break. I know he doesn't want to hear that, but certainly I don't want him to do anything till the new year. He's certainly earned himself a lovely Christmas and a nice new year, but I don't want him to have too long a break. It's just so hard getting back if you have too long off, and we found that out last time.
Well, I turned up and I was expecting to use my normal MX Everlast gloves, and turned up with Glenn, and he was adamant. He was like, I've looked at Zerafa's gloves, and he thinks that they're a little bit smaller and he's got an advantage using his gloves. And they were a rival pair, and they felt very comfortable putting them on, and even though it had Zerafa on the glove, I guess it was funny punching him with his own name on my glove.
Jeff wasn't too keen, but I looked at them and I honestly felt that they were smaller than the MX Everlast and less padding, and I could just feel more shock.
We just didn't want him to have that mental advantage either. We didn't want him to think that he's got a better, smaller glove than we do, and we want to have an equal playing field.
That's what we want, the level playing field.
Did you think early on that you were sapping his confidence the way you came out so fast and throwing those big shots?
Yeah, definitely. I felt confident at the start. I felt like I was outboxing him in those early rounds, and I knew he wasn't winning those rounds. And I was coming back to the corner, and our guys were super confident that we'd won them. And yeah, I just felt I just need to keep doing that.
The boxing IQ was really going well.
Yeah, definitely. We need to break his confidence, because Michael is a confidence fighter. He's a super confident guy, and the evil death stares he was giving me pre-fight. I turned up underneath and I didn't realise he had turned up at the same time, and he was just death staring at me like nothing like tomorrow. And I was like, oh god, like I don't like seeing the opponent before the fight for this one reason. He was just being so smug, so I was glad to get in there and put him on the back foot straight away.
Glenn, as a trainer, it's been a bit of an up and down year. At some stage, did you sort of start to question yourself, and sort of now do you believe this is one of the greatest sporting stories in Australia?
Yeah, I never really have ever questioned myself. I mean, I've been doing this for nearly 5 decades, so I don't question what I know about fighting at all. I mean, even though we have had some disrespect coming through from the other team for this fight, which I thought was unwarranted, but it is what it is, we move on. But as I said, ultimately, you let history be the judge. All we can do is just keep turning up. And, as I say to people in boxing, you've got to have a very strong self-image, and if you're not strong enough to fail, you're too weak to succeed. So you've got to, if you fail, you've just got to have faith in who you are, and your self-image, and your skills, and your abilities, and your fighter. And as I said to Jeff, and I've always said to him, Jeff, you can beat them all. I've told him that you can beat there's no one in the world you cannot beat, but you've got to put the effort in, and so we saw that again tonight. Like when Jeff turns up, he's just amazing, so, and he turned up tonight. So I just want to see Jeff turn up every time, and if he does that, there is no limit to it. He can beat anyone. Is that one of the greatest comebacks as a trainer for you though, Glenn? Like, how do you feel? Oh, I mean, yes, I feel good. You always rejoice, you always enjoy the victories. Sometimes you learn more from the defeats, but you certainly celebrate and rejoice and enjoy these victories. So, it is great, it's wonderful, and I appreciate the support. We've had so many people from around Australia that have texted me, emailed me, messaged me, and just said all that's just garbage. They know what I can do and what I've done in the past, and certainly we just want to keep doing that.
As you said, it was a bit different tonight than Bendigo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot different tonight. It was a lot different from Bendigo, and and it is just great. It's just great, but I think Australia have been a huge winner tonight. I think all around the world, Australian boxing.
I love Brisbane.
Yeah, and just the building of Brisbane for Queensland. What a great Queenslander. Jeff Horn is. I think we should have 3 cheers for Jeff Horn. Hip hip! Hip hip!
I just want to say one thing. Yeah. Please.
No, the 3 cheers were fantastic, but that was awesome. That punch came from nowhere, and like the heart that this man's got is just blows me away. But a couple of things I learned. Michael Zerafa will never come to Queensland again and use the F word in any press conferences. And I am absolutely certain he didn't win the raffle.
Just a heads up, we may do another presser tomorrow, like, maybe around lunchtime, just to sort of, sometimes they chase that, okay? Just to freshen it up. Sorry about that, Jeffrey. Anyway.
Thanks again to all the
well done.
Dearly appreciate the support.